They always said Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were a dream couple, a perfect composite of grace and warmth, ice and fire, stillness and music. People looked at them and imagined harmony. Nobody imagined precision. Nobody imagined silence. Nobody imagined a marriage built like a glass sculpture. Beautiful, translucent, and unbelievably dangerous when it cracks. Nicole once said in an interview that her marriage was a safe place. Keith said it was a forever home. The truth was so much stranger, because neither of them ever said what they meant, not out of malice, out of fear. It began on an ordinary Tuesday, one of those meaningless days where nothing matters until suddenly everything does. Nicole woke up with the distinct sensation that someone had been watching her sleep. She sat up too quickly, heart racing, room blurring, but the bedroom was empty. Keith was downstairs, humming under his breath while making coffee. He always hummed when he was anxious. Low, repetitive notes that sounded almost mechanical. She came down barefoot, hair slightly tangled, mind foggy in a way that had started happening more and more lately. He didn't greet her with a kiss. He didn't say good morning. He just said, very quietly, "You were talking again." Her stomach tightened. Nicole forced a smile. "About what?" Keith didn't answer right away. He placed her cup on the table, no eye contact. Then, "You kept saying the same name." "What name?" He finally looked at her. "Yours," he said. She blinked. "What do you mean, mine?" "You were talking to yourself, or to some version of yourself." Nicole laughed, but her voice cracked. "Keith, that's not unusual. People talk in their sleep all the time. Not like that." She swallowed. "Was I upset?" "No," he said. "You sounded like you were arguing." "With myself?" "With someone who sounded like you." She didn't know what to say to that. She didn't know how to tell him the truth. She had no memory of that voice. But it wasn't the first time he'd said something like this. Her voice in the night. Her laughter when she didn't remember laughing. Her whispers that she never recalled. What bothered her most wasn't that she talked. It was that it sounded like someone else was using her mouth. The first time it happened was a year earlier. They were preparing for a charity concert Keith was performing at, and Nicole had been deep into a role, another haunted woman with too many secrets. She woke up crying. He held her, stroking her hair, whispering her name. "You were dreaming," he said. She said, "I know." But she didn't know. She never remembered the dreams, only the drowning feeling afterward. The second time it happened, she whispered something he refused to repeat. "I think it would scare you," he told her. "What did I say?" "It wasn't about me," he said. "It was about you." The third time, she laughed in her sleep. He recorded it. He played it back for her. She listened. Her blood went cold, because the voice laughing had her tone, her cadence, but not her breath. The laugh was wrong. It was too controlled, too even, too deliberate. "Do I really sound like that?" she asked, horrified. "It doesn't sound like you," Keith whispered. It sounds like someone pretending to be you. Now, a year later, the habit had grown into something else, something heavier. Nicole hated the way Keith watched her, not out of suspicion, out of study, like he was waiting for her to fracture. And truth be told, she sometimes felt like she was. That Tuesday morning, something in Keith's face looked unsettled. She touched his hand across the table. "You're worried," she said. "I'm unconfused." "About what?" "About you." Her breath caught. "What about me?" He opened his mouth, closed it, then said, "You've changed." "In what way?" "You're here, but you're not fully present." She pulled her hand back. "Keith, he drift. You forget things we said 5 minutes ago. You look at me like you're trying to remember who I am. That's not fair." "It's not an attack," he said. "It's an observation." She hated how calm he sounded, how clinical, like a doctor diagnosing a patient. "You think something's wrong with me," she whispered. His silence confirmed it. "But you won't say it." "Because I don't want you to feel broken." "I'm not." "I know," he said softly. "But you're not stable either." She felt her pulse spike. "Keith, if this is because of that nightmare..." "It's not one nightmare, Nicole. It's months, maybe years." "You're exaggerating." He shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "I'm finally not." She stood up too fast, chair sliding back. "I'm going for a walk." Keith didn't try to stop her. He just said, "Take your phone." She realized she'd left it upstairs. When she ran back to get it, she saw something on the nightstand that froze her. A small, black notebook. Her handwriting, her name in gold on the cover. But she didn't recognize it. She opened it. Page after page. Written neatly. Exactly in her handwriting. But she didn't remember writing any of it. And every entry began the same way. "This is not her." Every entry began the same. "This is not her." Nicole stared at the first page, heart pounding so loudly that she could hear the blood in her ears. The handwriting was hers. The paper was from the stationery set she kept in her study. The phrasing sounded like her when she was tired and trying to be precise, but she had no memory of ever writing the words. She read, "This is not her. The woman they see is not the one I know. She walks where I live, wears my face, uses my voice, signs my name. She says yes to things I would never say yes to. She looks at him like he is a project. She is careful, composed, polite. She is the one who gives interviews. I am the one who watches. I don't know when we switched places. I just know that he thinks she is me." Nicole felt cold creep up her spine. She turned the page. Another entry. Same beginning. "This is not her." She smiles at him and says, "I'm fine." Later, she cries in the shower and tells herself it was a good performance. She thinks survival and performance are the same word. She doesn't know how to feel without acting at first. He believes her. He believes every line. I am screaming inside my head and no one hears it because she keeps saying everything's okay. Nicole closed the notebook with shaking hands. Her first irrational thought was that someone was playing a cruel joke. A ghostwriter, a fan, a deranged assistant. Someone who had studied her handwriting, mimicked it, and slipped this thing onto her nightstand like a curse.
but the paper smelled like her perfume. Faint traces of last night's hand cream lingered on the cover. She checked the inside back cover. A small note, written in rushed, messy script. Still hers, just more frantic. If you're reading this and you don't remember writing it, it means she's still winning. Nicole dropped the notebook like it burned her. She backed away from the bed, dizzy. "Nick?" Keith's voice floated up the stairs. She swallowed. "Yeah?" She called back, trying to sound normal. "Everything okay?" "No." "Yes." "Did you find your phone?" She grabbed the device from where it lay on the charger. "Got it." "Good. I'm heading to the studio in an hour. Thought maybe we could—" "I'm going out," she said quickly. "I need air." A pause. "Okay," he said. "Be safe." She shoved the notebook into the top drawer of her nightstand, slammed it shut, and walked to the bathroom, locking the door behind her. Her reflection stared back at her. Perfect skin, carefully conditioned hair, expensive pajamas. The face the world knew. The face the notebook was accusing. She leaned in. "Which one are you?" she whispered. No answer. Only her own eyes looking suddenly unfamiliar. She didn't tell Keith about the journal that day, or the next. Instead, she did what she had always done. She turned the problem into a performance. She went for a walk. She called her agent. She approved scripts. She scrolled past headlines dissecting old photos of her and Keith. Fans fear trouble in paradise. Urban appears strained at rehearsal. Kidman colder than usual on red carpet. They analyzed posture and lighting like forensic evidence. None of them had any idea that the real crime scene was her own head. That night, in bed, she pretended to fall asleep first so she wouldn't have to feel him watching her breathe. She woke up at 3:06 a.m., sitting on the edge of the bed. She didn't remember moving. Her hands were ink-stained. The drawer of the nightstand was slightly open. Cold horror curled in her stomach. She reached for the notebook. There was a new entry. Same first line. "This is not her.
She thinks she can bury me under schedules and red carpets. She thinks if she never stops working, I will never get a word in. But I live in the gaps, in the jet lag, in the 3 a.m. wake-ups, in the moments where he asks, 'Where did you just go?' And she has no answer. He misses me. He doesn't know I'm the one he fell in love with. He thinks she is safer. She isn't. She will kill us both." Nicole closed the notebook very slowly. Her heart hammered. The logic was ridiculous. She knew this. She was a rational person. She understood dissociation, method acting afterburn, traumatized performers clinging to personas. She'd done enough therapy to recognize anxiety when she saw it. But this wasn't anxiety. This was documentation. And if she accepted the premise, even for a second, then she had to accept something worse. Part of her was actively working against her. 3 days later, she made an appointment. Not with her usual therapist, the one in Los Angeles whose office smelled like sage and coffee, and who had seen her through births, heartbreaks, and career reinventions. With a new one, under another name, in another city. She told Keith she was doing press prep. It wasn't a lie, it just wasn't the whole truth. She sat on a sleek leather chair in a quiet office with no framed posters, no industry scripts visible anywhere. The doctor, a woman in her late 50s, with kind eyes and very still hands, introduced herself as Dr. Rowan. "How would you like me to address you?" the doctor asked. "Nicole is fine," she said. "Not N?" The doctor smiled. Nicole's blood ran cold. "Excuse me?" she said. "You told my assistant you sometimes prefer N in writing," the doctor said mildly. "I wanted to check." Nicole exhaled slowly. "Of course, just a note, not the notebook, not that N." "Nicole is fine," she repeated. The doctor nodded. "All right. What brings you here, Nicole?" She stared at her hands. "I'm losing time," she said. "Can you explain that?" "I fall asleep and wake up somewhere else. I walk into a room and can't remember why. I find things I don't remember buying. Writing I don't remember writing. What kinds of writing? Journals, notes, to-do lists, thoughts."
They all look like mine. But they're not. She trailed off. "Not what?" the doctor asked gently. "They're not me," she said. Dr. Rowan tilted her head. "Are they cruel?" she asked. "Different values, different desires. They're more honest than I let myself be," Nicole said quietly. "They say the things I won't let myself say." "Such as?" Nicole hesitated. Then, "That I'm tired of being the version of myself people need me to be. That I'm angry at my husband for needing me to be his anchor. That I'm angry at myself for resenting him. That sometimes I want to disappear and see who survives without me." Dr. Rowan regarded her for a long moment. "Do you feel like you have multiple personalities?" she asked. "No," Nicole said quickly. "I don't think I'm split. I don't hear voices. I don't lose whole days. I just slip. Like I'm watching myself from behind glass. Nicole swallowed. I smile, talk, answer questions, hold his hand on carpets, and inside I'm banging on the glass, trying to get her attention. The her being me," Nicole whispered. "But not." Dr. Rowan nodded slowly. "You're an actress," she said. "You've spent your life inhabiting other people. It's not unusual to experience bleed through." "I know," Nicole said. "I've had that before, but this is different. That was occupational haunting. This feels intentional." "Intentional by whom?" "By her," Nicole said softly. "The one who writes, 'This is not her.'" Silence. Dr. Rowan folded her hands. "How does your husband respond to these changes?" "He watches me," Nicole said, "like he's checking if I'm still there. He asks where I go when I stare off. He says I talk in my sleep. He says I sound like I'm arguing with myself." "Has he suggested treatment?" "He's suggested rest, less work, less roles that hollow me out." His words. "He's also suggested I might be depressed." "Are you?" "Yes," she said simply. "But that's not the point." "What is?" Nicole looked up, eyes suddenly bright and hard. "The point is," she said, "I don't trust my own perception anymore. And I don't know if that's because I'm sick or because someone is making me feel that way." Dr. Rowan's gaze sharpened. "Someone?" she repeated quietly. "Do you feel manipulated?" Nicole hesitated. Then, very softly, "Sometimes I feel like I'm being gaslit in my own house." It was a dangerous confession. Once spoken, it couldn't be unsaid. Dr. Rowan didn't rush to respond. "By whom?" she asked finally. Nicole laughed once, humorless. She said, "Take your pick. My husband, my publicists, the studio, the internet, myself." She wiped her eyes, annoyed to find them wet. "Sometimes I move something on purpose. A book, a glass, a pair of shoes. I leave them somewhere specific. Then I come back and they're somewhere else. And everyone swears they didn't touch them. So I start to think maybe I did move them and forgot. Maybe I'm losing it. Maybe the notebook is mine and She pressed her fingers to her temple. Split. Has your husband ever lied to you about something small? Something that made you question your memory? Nicole thought about the time she'd heard a woman's laughter on his phone, and he'd insisted it was a podcast. About the time she'd asked if he'd been drinking, and he'd said no, even though there was a faint sweetness on his breath. About the time she'd confronted him about an argument they'd had, and he'd said, "You're remembering that wrong." With such calm certainty, she'd started to doubt herself. "Yes," she said, "but I've lied to him too. Small things, harmless things. I told myself everyone does, that it's just part of staying afloat. And now? Now I don't know where the lies end and I begin." Dr. Rowan nodded slowly. "I'm going to ask you something difficult," she said. "Do you feel safe with him?" She flinched. "Yes," she said, instantly. The doctor raised an eyebrow. "You didn't think about that at all," she observed. "I don't have to. He's never hurt me. Not physically. He's not cruel. He's kind. Too kind, sometimes. He's the kind of man who apologizes for things that aren't his fault. He saved me." "From what?" I said, "From freezing solid. From becoming a statue of myself."
Rowan waited. "And now?" "Now," Nicole thought, "he's watching me freeze again and doesn't know how to stop it. Now, I don't know if he's holding me or holding me in place." Out loud, she said, "Now, I think we're trapped in a story people like more than the truth." When she got home that night, the house felt off, too quiet, too tidy. Keith was in the kitchen, barefoot, tuning a guitar that didn't need tuning. "How was your day?" he asked. "Fine," she said. "Press stuff?" She hesitated. "Yeah." A small lie. He nodded, studying her. "You okay?" "Just tired." "You've been tired for a long time," he said gently. She forced a smile. "That's what happens when you marry a musician." He didn't laugh. Instead, he set the guitar down carefully. "Can I ask you something weird?" he said. Her stomach clenched. "Sure." He wiped his hands on a towel, buying time. "If you started losing pieces of yourself," he said slowly, "would you tell me or would you hide it so I wouldn't worry?" The question hit too close. She swallowed. "Is that what you think is happening? You think I'm losing myself?" He sighed. "I think you're drifting," he said. "You go somewhere and I can't follow, and when you come back, you act like you were never gone." She leaned against the counter, suddenly exhausted. "Do you feel like yourself?" she asked softly. He blinked. "What?" "You keep watching me like I'm gonna disappear. Do you feel solid, or are you scared too?" He opened his mouth, closed it. Finally, "I'm scared," he admitted, "of saying the wrong thing, of making it worse, of pushing you away, of repeating old patterns." She studied him. "You think I'm relapsing." "Into what?" he asked. Work? Control? Dissociation? I don't know the right word. I just know I see something in your eyes that wasn't there before. She almost told him then, about the notebook, about the messages to herself, about the way her sleep had started to feel like a place someone else could borrow. She almost. Instead, she said, I found something in our room. His body tensed. What? A journal. He frowned. Yours? Yes. No, I don't know. Can I see it? The question hit like ice.
Everything in her screamed to say no. It's private, she said. He nodded slowly. Okay? Just okay? She snapped. No insistence, no, we shouldn't have secrets, no, we're in this together, just okay? He shrugged slightly. I've had my own secrets, he said. I don't get to demand yours. She hated how reasonable that sounded. Do you ever feel like you're going crazy? She asked abruptly. He gave a short, humorless laugh. Daily. Do you ever feel like someone is trying to make you doubt yourself? She pressed. He hesitated. Sometimes, he said, but then I remember my brain is already predisposed to lie to me. Addiction, anxiety, all that fun stuff. So I try not to put that on other people unless I'm sure. And are you sure? He looked at her. I'm not sure about anything anymore. Except that I don't want to lose you. The words should have comforted her. Instead, they made her feel claustrophobic. Because what if losing her was the only way he'd ever see her clearly? The next time she opened the notebook was 2 weeks later. It had moved. She was sure of it. She'd left it in the drawer, tucked under an old script. Now it was on top, centered. Like someone had taken it out, read it, and put it back with too much care. Her hands shook as she opened it. There were 5 new entries. She had no memory of writing any of them. The first was short. This is not her. He read this. He put it back. He is pretending he didn't. We are both pretending the performance continues. Nicole slapped a hand over her mouth. The second entry was longer. She told the doctor only half the truth. She didn't mention the way he rearranges things and denies it. She didn't mention the time he said, "You always do this," when she had never done it before. She thinks this is about her splitting. It's also about him smoothing the edges. He needs her to be fragile. He doesn't know who he is if she doesn't need him. Her heart hammered harder. The third entry made her skin crawl. This is not her. She keeps forgetting the fights. He remembers them in detail. When she disagrees, he laughs and says, "That's not how it happened, baby." She is starting to believe his version. I am not. I remember he raised his voice. He slammed the door. He said, "You're impossible to love." He apologized the next day and said, "I would never say that to you." She believed him. I didn't. Nicole read the words twice. The memory surfaced slowly. A flash of him at the doorway, her own voice rising, the sound of the door closing harder than usual. His face twisted in anger, then immediately contrite. The words, like a knife. You're impossible to love. Had he said that? Yes. No. Yes. Her head hurt. She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to replay the night like film. In one version, he said it clearly. In another, he didn't. In both, the next morning, he'd made her coffee, kissed her neck, and said, "We don't have to talk about last night if you don't want to."
The fourth entry was a single, chilling sentence. If both of them keep editing reality, I'm the only one left who knows what actually happened. The fifth entry took up an entire page. Nicole read it with growing nausea. This is not her. She thinks she is cruel for doubting him. He thinks he is noble for worrying about her. They are both wrong. He is not a villain. She is not a saint. He is a man whose survival depends on managing chaos. She is a woman whose survival depends on controlling perception. Together, they have created a house made of mirrors where neither can see themselves clearly. When he lies, it is to avoid collapse. When she lies, it is to avoid abandonment. They are both building slightly different versions of the same story. Every time they choose the story over the raw memory, I grow stronger. I am not a personality. I am the part that refuses to forget. And I am getting tired of being locked in this notebook. Nicole dropped the journal onto the bed as if it had spoken out loud. Her mouth was dry. Her skin felt too tight. She walked to the bathroom sink and splashed cold water on her face. I'm losing my mind, she whispered to the mirror. The mirror said nothing. Her phone buzzed. A text from Keith. Can you come to the studio? Need your ear on something. She stared at the message. She should say no. She should say she was busy, tired, unwell. Instead, she typed, on my way. Because that's what you do in a glass marriage. You show up, even when you're not sure which version of yourself is walking through the door.